Hey pumpkins, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, I'm Christina Khatebe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do subscribe, like, comment and share. Like the video. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your patience. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube and I'm going to explain myself. So for those who are new, I just want to quickly give you a background of why I actually have a YouTube channel and why I started one, why I created one, I mean. So I created a YouTube channel because when I came to the UK, it was my first time being outside of the country or traveling outside of where I usually grew up, in South Africa. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now because I've done this video so many times and I just hope this is the last attempt. So as I was saying, it was my first time traveling out of the country and I felt like if I was to vlog my weekly life or my daily life, my family will feel a bit more, you know, comfortable and knowing that I'm well, and to just get to see that I'm okay, how I'm living in the UK. Because my little sister and my cousins were like, when are you coming back on YouTube? Are you okay? We want to see where you stay now after everything. You know, they're trying to see like what's going on with my life. Anyways guys, let me just get down to it and not ramble too much. So for the new subscribers, please do listen, and it's going to be a little get to know me. I'm going to start from scratch on how I came to the UK, what happened, and I think I'm going to do a part 2 because it's going to be a bit long. I'm going to do a part 2 of what's currently happening, like a little update. So the last video I made was on New Year's Eve. Yeah, on New Year's Eve last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year, January, around January. Yeah, I posted my last video, but if you go back to my channel, you'll see that I removed all my videos because I'm just so nervous, because now I know a lot of people. I've even started working now. There's a lot of people who actually follow me on YouTube, I mean on Instagram, and I'm just a bit nervous because I watched back the videos and I was like cringing so much, but I'll still put them back later on. So right now I just want this video to be the main focus, and later on I'll just put it back, because you know, no one is perfect when they're starting a YouTube channel. You need to show all the flaws where I started, you know, so I'm not gonna delete it, they're gonna come back. Anyways, now let me just get down to the main parts of this video. Okay, so as you all know, I was born in Leeds in the UK, and my mom is South African, my dad is Cameroonian, but my mom met my dad in the UK, so my dad was already living in the UK. So I was born in Leeds, and when my dad and mom separated, my mom took me back with her to South Africa, and I think I was 2, because from what I know is that I lived in South Africa for 16 years of my life. I'm currently 20. I just turned 20 this year. I lived in South Africa for 16 years, right? So during the years, my mom got married, and I've just known my stepdad, right? Like for like 10 years, you know. During those years, I eventually got a phone, and I started speaking to my real dad from this side, right? During the years, he would call like on my birthday, on special occasions, wishing me a happy new year. And I was kind of curious, like, who's this person? But the more I grew older, the more I had an understanding of like, oh, this is your dad, because my mom had explained everything. I was like, oh, I'm born in the UK and stuff like that. I was probably like, I don't know, probably 10 years old when I finally understood, when my mom sat me down and said, this is the person who's been calling you, you know. And yeah, from there we just grew a normal relationship on the phone, video call every year, right? I've never met him, but eventually he came with his sister in 2018. they came to South Africa to see me and for just vacation. It was a great time. He bought me a lot of clothes. I was so excited to meet him. I had the video on my phone, but I don't think I have it now. But it was a great experience. We went to Sun City. It was my first time in Sun City as well. We went to Mandela's house, old house. We just did a lot. So that was the first time I met him, and it was my first time speaking and seeing his sister for the first time, right? I think it was in 2018. Fast forward, I finished my, I complete my high school, which in South Africa we call it matric. And my dad was like, don't you want to like complete your studies in like the UK, just do college or uni in the UK? And of course I'm excited. I've never traveled outside of the country. Like the UK is just like, you know, when you're so young, you're just so naive and you're just like, I want to be there, I want to come, I want to be outside. Oh my God, I'm just going to do so many things. And you just have this idea in your head that, you know, oh my God, my life is about to change, which it did. Well, you're about to find out. Anyways, so the entire process of me coming here was super stressful because he couldn't do it alone, of course. He did the most parts, which was the documentation. He knew everything, what to do. I just had to do my part, whether if he told me to send this document or send him that, I just needed to be on call every time he needed me, you know. But fast forward, we finally complete all the documents, and I'm ready to come to the UK. And this was like 2022. I arrived in Manchester in 2022 on Valentine's Day. 2022, 14th of February, I arrived in Manchester, right? And initially when my dad came in 2018, I had an idea that I was going to come here, but I didn't know that it was going to be, you know, a real thing. So they had a meeting with my mom in 2018 when my dad came to visit me when I first saw him for the first time. He was telling my mom that when I come this side, I'm going to live with him. So 2022, when I arrived, I couldn't live with him because he was going through a messy divorce. So he told me that I need to live with his parents, which is my Cameroonian grandparents, right? They were already also living in the UK. So I finally arrive and I settle. I see everyone, like the grandparents, there's little cousins. And by the way, on my dad's side of the family, I'm the first grandchild. And then the second one is the same age as me. He's a boy, but I'm a month older than him. So his birthday is like in January. Mine's in February. Mine's in January. Anyways, so I arrive and we arrive in the house. I see everyone. It was an amazing day. Like, we took so many pictures. I got to see my little siblings. And yeah, so I lived with my grandparents for an entire year. For now, I don't want to describe the exact issues that led to all of this. I'm not gonna say it in detail. I don't feel like there's a need for it. All I'm gonna say is that I feel like there was a culture clash that played a very big role, and also that how can I put this? So before I left, my mom was like, are you sure you don't know them? You have your own personality. You're older now. I don't think it's the best decision for you to come and live with the entire family completely, because you need to understand each other. You need to meet each other halfway. And I know you, Christina, you're definitely not what do you call this, a consistent person. Like when I first came here, I was doing everything they wanted me to do. I was the best grandchild until I lost my consistency. I literally got drained, like, so much. I stopped doing things that I used to do, like when it comes to chores, when it comes to things that I have to do on a daily basis. I got drained, guys, because mind you, in South Africa, I have a big family, so when there's chores, we take turns. I'm just mentioning that part, like there was many more that played a role in the decision they made, right? But anyways, what was I saying? So my mom was just advising me, like, you grow now, like, you have your own personality, you have your own, you know, teen things or whatever. You're just gonna clash. It's not gonna make any sense. And guys, living with my grandparents, they're strict, they're very traditional. You have to do things a certain way and you have to keep it up, okay? There's no, you know, there's no playing. Mind you, they were so kind, so sweet, so family orientated. My dad was so loving. I learned that he really, really loved his kids. He showed so much, including myself, like, he showed so much love, and I appreciate that. But some things were like shocking when it came to me moving. So the entire year in 2022, living with them was just so stressful. I was crying every month. I was calling my family from back home. I just couldn't take it. It came to a point where at the end of the year, my mom just couldn't take it, and she had a fight with my dad. Like, why aren't you listening to your daughter? She doesn't like it when this happens. You know, when we would clash, me and my grandma, or my grandma has a very strong personality, and you can be shouted for days. Like, every day of my life, I felt like I was some kind of, like, let me not get down to it. Let me not. But anyways, to cut the story short, with all the complaints and stress and continuous arguments, and my mom just was fed up and was like, you know what, you're not listening to your child. Like, I felt so lonely, guys. I didn't know who to turn to. I wasn't abused, mind you, disclaimer, nothing, but I feel like emotionally, the shouting, I was literally alone, guys. There was no other kid around me, so every mistake, they were paying attention to me. If you don't do things right, it's all on you. I felt like at some point I was walking on eggshells. It was a lot, guys. It was a lot. So my mom ended up fighting with my dad, and it literally traveled to the entire family. So mind you, my family back home are not here, so I have to deal with everything, the whole tension in the house, alone, you know. So after the entire arguments, my aunt started knowing about this, my grandparents, and they were talking for that week, the entire week, guys. I was scared to come out of the room because, you know, they were like, this child, what did she say to her mom? Now the entire family in South Africa hates us, blah 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 blah. And I was just like, oh my god, this is just so stressful, like, yo. But anyways, for a few days it went on, and my aunt decided to have a meeting. So in the meeting, before the meeting, my aunt told me to call my mom so she can be a part of it. And one thing she said is that it's going to be the most quickest meeting, no fights, no nothing, just finding a solution. And I was just like, okay. And mind you, guys, my dad had his own place. It was just like, I think 40 minutes away from where I lived with my grandparents, and my aunt was living in France. But her and her husband, they had a lot of properties. So my grandparents were living in my aunt's property, right? So my aunt came all the way from France for the meeting. Okay, so on the day of the meeting, she explains, call your mom, the meeting is going to be quick. So it was my mom on the call, me, my dad, my grandpa, and my grandma. My grandpa doesn't speak a lot, guys. He just sits back and watch all the drama and you know, unfold. But anyways, in the living room, me, my dad, my mom on the phone, my aunt is in the middle, you know, explaining everything, my grandma and my grandpa. So we're sitting in the dining area, and my aunt is like, since my granddaughter feels like she's not happy in this home, I have decided to make sure that she's very happy, and I have taken this decision, you know, for that she has now 4 weeks to find a job, and a house to stay in. I'm giving her 4 weeks. You're not doing anything in the house. When you come back from college, mind you, I was in college now, started school, everything. I just cut everything out because I don't want this video to be too long. So she was like, you're gonna go to college. I go to college Monday to Friday. Every time you come back from college, focus on looking for a job and a place to stay. You have 4 weeks. You're gonna find food ready for you. All you gotta do is just focus on that strictly. And I was like, okay. And what else? And she was like, yeah, and that's it. I was just like, guys, this meeting took like 5 minutes or less. And before she said all of that, we had a prayer, and then she started with the meeting and said all of that, right? And then she was like, grandparents, do you have anything to say? My grandma was gasped, but she was like, oh, okay. And she asked my dad, like, do you have anything to say? My dad was like, I don't want any part of this. I don't want any part of whatever she's doing. I'm not gonna help with anything. I don't want any part of it. And then my aunt asked my mom, and my mom was like, oh, this is the best decision, actually. I don't mind it at all. Because prior to the meeting, I was telling my mom, I was like, you know what, I think you're right. I would like to have a place to stay, and I can just visit my parents, my grandparents, and the entire family on the weekend. So, I can give my grandma space. Because I feel like when I was around her, I was just making too many mistakes or just getting on her nerves. When I wouldn't say my grandma is a perfectionist, but she loves things a certain way. And she doesn't want to tell you twice. You get me? So, yeah. But she was super sweet, very nurturing, very loving, But, it was a 50-50 thing. So, yeah, that was the conclusion. And I didn't have time to actually tell them that, this is what I wanted to live. But I still wanted to come and visit. But anyways, I just didn't want to put anything. I was just like, I'm just going to take it how it is. No explanation, no nothing. That's okay. We prayed again and we closed the meeting. Guys, the next day, was I not searching? Mind you, there's a lot of assignments I need to do that I need to submit on that week. So I was stressed, guys. I was making sure that I'm doing everything on the first week, so I don't need to stress on the coming week. So I was just trying to make everything more quicker, and get everything sorted, and so I don't take too long. The next day, guys, I had come back from college for about 2 days. I'm researching, I'm stressing, I update my friends what happened, my entire family back home, they keep calling. I think that's what made it feel a bit more better, and how I felt I got more motivation to actually do it. But anyways, so in my research, I think on the first week I was even booking viewings. I was going on viewing like some student houses and apartments, just going for viewings. But it was not working out. I was not finding like the perfect house, or not the perfect house, but something that's more reasonable for me to like stay in, Anyways, and a job. I've never worked my entire life. I've never had a job, nothing. So there was another thing. Mind you, at that time I didn't know how to even do a CV. That was actually last year, around February. So on the first week, I'm doing all of that, and then on the second week, my aunt comes to me. Mind you, everyone is in the house, but it's a lot of tension. Like every time I come back, I was always in the room. I was always in the room. Come downstairs, eat, go up, do my research. Guys, I couldn't even do my schoolwork. I was stressing too much. Because my aunt, I was kind of really scared of my aunt. Like she's a very calm, reserved personality. She's that person who wants to see if you're gonna accomplish whatever she's telling you. Because she has that personality. She's very intimidating. Like she's very sweet. I've never seen her angry. So this is the part that scared me. So whatever she said, I was like, I'm going to do it because I don't want to see the other side. She's giving me the platform that, I'm gonna calm down. This is what I'm laying out for you, And if you do not, it was like that thing of like, if you do not, even though she didn't show any emotion, guys, but I could feel it. Like I was TikToking, I could feel it. But she was not, she was just calm. Like on the second week, as I was saying, she was asking me like, how's the housing going? I was like, I haven't found anything yet. I haven't found a job yet. I applied to Universal Credit. They rejected me. You know, Universal Credit is when they give you money until you find a job. They just give you money, you apply, and you have to have the right documents. But with me, I didn't have all the documents that they wanted. Plus, I was a full-time college student. They wanted a part-time college or uni student, so that's why they rejected me. So on that second week on a Monday, I update my aunt and I tell her all this. And she's like, don't worry, just keep looking. Little did I know, she now says, by the way, I need your card. I don't know if she asked for my card or my SIM card, my phone SIM card. So it was on a contract and my dad was paying for it monthly. And she was like, I need to remove the card from the contract. I need to cancel the contract so you can put your own SIM card, your own bank card, and start paying for your own contract. And I'm like, oh, guys, when I tell you, I never lived with my aunts, but her and my dad kept on visiting like every 2 weeks. My dad was coming like every week, like almost every day. But my aunt, she would come back and forth. So it was like they were always there. So they'll always come for the news, like not for the news. When they come, you know, my grandma will be telling her, this child did this now. Oh, this child. Anyways, guys, one thing about me, I'm not a problem child. I just feel like back in South Africa, I was that lazy child who, you know, I did chores, guys. Like normally I grew up properly. My parents were strict. I had chores, wash dishes. But, you know, it wasn't like a set thing. Like every Sunday you're cleaning the whole house. Morning, afternoon, night, you're washing the dishes. You know, you wake up at 9 a.m. We cook together, you know. Or we cook dinner at 9 a.m. You know, there was not, it was a bit different, but when you're not used to, how can I put it? I hope you guys get me. Like, there were things that were done differently, but it wasn't something that, guys, fine. Let's just leave that. I was about to say, let's not talk about it. So what was I? So she was like, I'm gonna cancel it and you're gonna start paying. So my dad was giving me £10 a week for college money. It was like college money. £10 a week was like 200 rands a week. I wasn't working, so that's all I had. And guys, college food every day for £10. You know, I had no money at the end of the week. You couldn't save, you know. So I'm like, but anyways, it's data, you know, it's not important, so it's fine. So she canceled it and I'm like, okay, fine. The next day she comes and she asked for my dad's laptop. So my dad gave me his laptop to use to submit assignments and do my schoolwork. And initially he was gonna eventually buy me my own laptop to use, but I was just using his because he wasn't using it as much. She comes the next day and she asks for the laptop and she's like, since you're gonna be moving, you know, and doing your own things, you need to bring the laptop. And I'm like, I'm still doing my schoolwork and I still need to use it. And she was like, no. And I'm like, okay. Like, I didn't want to start arguing nothing, you know. I've just had enough of drama. I was just exhausted. I just didn't want anything. I was just listening to whatever she had to say, you know. So I give her the laptop. She's like, okay. It's the second week, mind you, probably the third day when she's asking for the laptop. So the following day I go to college, and mind you, I'm updating the safeguarding team. The safeguarding team is people who help other students who have problems at home. They just help sort out everything that you're going through. So I update them on what's happening, and they're like, no, don't worry, you can loan a laptop at school for a year. It's loaned yearly, freely. That's it. So eventually, it was very easy. I went and I loaned a laptop. All is sorted now. Fine. Second week. And then I think on Wednesday, she was like coming every day, if I could say. So on Wednesday, or I don't know when, on the same week, she comes back to me and she's like, so I'm going back to France this Saturday, and judging by you living with your grandma and all that's going on, the drama and the stress that you guys are giving each other, I don't want to live here and you're still here. And I'm like, but you gave me 4 weeks to find a house, any job, and I've been updating you that I haven't found one yet. How can I find all of that in like a few days when you're leaving on Saturday? And she's like, I don't want to live while you're still in this house, because I don't want any problems. I don't want any drama. So please. At that point, I knew that, yeah, like it's getting real now. Like it's getting real. And guys, initially in the meeting, another thing I forgot to mention, she first asked me, before she said everything, she first asked me, do you still want to stay in the UK and move out and live on your own, or do you want to go back to South Africa? I didn't want to go back to South Africa because I have wasted an entire 2 years of my life. I could have been on my second year, whether in college or wherever, uni or something. I could have been doing something, but I didn't want to go back because I've already wasted a whole 2 years of my life, and I was already in college, here. So why would I just leave? So I chose to just stay. Mind you, my friends from college were already working, so I did ask them like for, do they have any positions available and something, but at that time, at their jobs, they were not employing, so I had to look where else. Fine. So, I go back to college the next day after she tells me that I need to leave by Saturday morning because she's leaving at Saturday around 2 p.m. or something. I tell the college and they're like, oh my god, like, what are you gonna do, because at this point they're just like, I can't remember what they said at that time. I can't remember. But I update my mom immediately after she told me that. And I remember my mom, I think it was a Thursday night, I told her and she was so shocked. She was like, what's going on? But anyway, she came with a solution. She said she's gonna send me money for me to pay for a hotel, for like B&Bs or a hotel, weekly or daily or for the night or whatever, until I find a place to stay and a job. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm so confident. I'm like, little did I know, and I forgot that she's in South Africa. I'm in a different country. So when you're sending money, it's not gonna come immediately or in a day. Especially, it depends on the money she sends. If the money is too big, it's not gonna come tomorrow or in 2 days. So on Friday, she sent the money immediately on Thursday night. On Friday, I check, it's not there. I don't know why I thought it was gonna come the next day. On Saturday morning comes, I wake up early. I actually packed the day before Saturday. When I was about to leave, I packed everything, all my stuff. And my cousins, they also knew about this. They were so angry. They're like, when you leave, do not say bye-bye to anyone. Do not say goodbye to anyone. Just leave. And honestly, guys, I just didn't want to see anyone. I just wanted to leave in peace. I don't want them to give me that face like, you're going to see where you go or what happens. I just didn't want to have that look, or, I just didn't want to see all of that. So on Saturday morning, I checked my balance. I'm like, Mom, you sent the money 2 days ago. It still hasn't arrived. And we tried different apps. I researched in that morning, guys. I researched different apps. My mom sends more money. My other uncle tries to send money. It's not going through because the apps wanted a certain ID that I didn't have. And with my documents, guys, this is a story for another day, because most of the things I couldn't get universal credit, the apps where I could get money more faster, I couldn't like have access to because of certain documents that they needed. So that's why I couldn't you know, get money. So fast forward, I had £70 in my account that I had received. I used to play a lot of money apps. Like there was this app that gave you money for I don't know, there was an app where I was like, what do you call it, user testing, where companies come and they show you the brand and they ask you to test it out, and if you like it or not, it's like an interview. You know, you test it out and then they interview you. It was a simple app and you get money. So I had made like £70 out of it. £70 is like, I think 1,000 something, 1,200, 1,300 rand, South African rands. So I had £70 on that Saturday morning when my aunt was about to leave at 2 p.m. And my mom is like, do you have any money, you know, to go to the nearest MoneyGram? Because MoneyGram is also another branch in the UK where you can get money immediately, like within an hour or two, I think. So I called the Uber after I've packed all my clothes, guys. I had so many things. They were in a black plastic bags, most of them. So the Uber driver comes, you know, he arrives. I first come with my suitcases downstairs. I put them in the boot. After that, my room was upstairs. So I kept going up and down, grabbing all the big bin black, you know those black bin plastic bags? They were full. I had like 3 or something. I come down to put in the car, and the Uber driver was like watching me like, what the hell is going on? Because he even came out to actually help me. He stood outside, you know, to grab my thing, because like, hey, is this girl moving out? What's happening? Because I was also in a rush. Like I was like, let me just get out of here, like let me just leave, you know. He, after helping me out, he's asking on the way, like, what's going on? Are you okay? You don't seem okay. Like, what's all this luggage for? Are you moving out? And I just explained my entire story. And he's like, oh my God, I hope you get the money. We arrive in MoneyGram. He waits for me outside. Oh, whoever that Uber guy was, God bless him wherever he is, guys. Like, he was so patient. Like, he helped me with from everywhere I needed to be, and he was just patient, you know. He stopped all the nearest trips just to wait for me, you know. I arrive in MoneyGram and I sign I complete a form, and when it's time to send, they ask for the certain ID that I don't have, and I'm like, I don't have it. Is there another way? They're like, no, we need this type of ID, or else you can't access the money. At that point, I'm just like, wow. We tried everything, guys. I was in MoneyGram for almost an hour. Everything, like, to try many ways to just find a certain document that they can use, but they were like, no. So I ended up returning hopeless. I tell the Uber driver, and the Uber driver is like, in your current situation, I can take you to shelter. Guys. So we drive to the nearest shelter. I was like, take me to any shelter as long as I can have a place to stay for the night, and I'll see like what I do, you know, because the money hasn't arrived that my mom sent me and my uncle sent me. Guys, they were sending me money, like £500. My mom sent me £500. She also sent me £1,000. Like, they tried so much on different apps to just try and transfer money to me or through my bank, but it wasn't going to arrive on the day, you know. So we didn't even know when the money was gonna come. So I arrived in the shelter, and guys, the shelter was a very private place, because when I arrived there, I paid the Uber, I put all my things inside, you know. The ladies are outside, like, concerned, like, what's going on? And they start questioning me, and I tell them everything, and they're like, oh my God. But they were so curious of how we got here, because apparently that's like a very private area. No one actually knows about it, because it's for kids who've been abused, like seriously abused, like by their parents or wherever, like traumatic things. Kids who've been through a lot of trauma. So they were like in hiding. That's how private and strict the place was. So they were questioning me so much that no one just comes in here. It's very private. But after they heard my situation, they tell me that I'm so sorry. We do not have a place for you to sleep because it's fully packed, and you can't sleep on the couch because of like our guidelines or the rules or something like that, the policies or something, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. Like from there, guys, I just started crying because I've tried everything. Like nothing was working out, and the last thing I didn't want to do is go back home, because now I was scared of how things were gonna turn out if I go back home, because they were gonna be like, okay, you thought you could do all of this on your own. Now we're gonna show you. You know, so I just didn't want that. I was just scared of what was going to happen, judging by how things led to, you know, them taking all of this away, everything I needed. So I just didn't want to go back. If I had to sleep on the street, guys, I was going to. There was a little chance where I almost did, literally, and I didn't care. Like, I didn't. And I feel like it was going to be easier, guys, if I told you what happened in details, but I don't want to go there, honestly, guys. If you guys have questions, you can comment below, you know. So they make a few calls to housing. There's an agency in the UK called Housing, where they supply housing for people who do not have any homes. It's just for security, or people who are about to lose their houses. You have to give certain documents when you're applying in order to be accepted. But because I didn't have that document, again, it was very tricky for me to be accepted. But judging by my situation, they were like, I'm sorry, the only thing we can do now, we can find you a hotel to stay in for 2 nights. So it was still that same Saturday, guys. I'm still in that shelter on the call while I'm listening to them. They're like, you're gonna stay in that hotel for Saturday night and Sunday night, and then from Monday we can't help you because we don't do things like this. You need to have this document in order for you to be accepted or considered, because there's a lot of applications, guys. There's a lot of people who need housing, and it's called emergency housing. Yeah, I got it now. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And they're like, okay, so what you need to do is go to the nearest police station and call them and get a code number or something. I forgot the name of it. And I'm like, okay. So at that time, it was like probably like going around 8 p.m. 7 p.m., 8 p.m. The Uber driver has left a long time ago. So yeah, I called another Uber to the nearest police station. I packed. The ladies were so nice, guys. Yo, they were so sweet. They helped me pack all my luggage into the car, and I went to the police station. Oh, after that, guys, things went tougher. They were extreme. Things went like extremely tough. Because as soon as the Uber driver drops me off to the nearest police station, there's steps, guys. There's like steps to the big building. And I'm just down here. I'm just like in the bottom, so you have to climb steps. So he takes all my luggage in the bottom, like out of the car, on the floor, to the ground, everything. And I told you guys I had a lot of luggage. And then he leaves. So guys, I wouldn't say I felt unsafe, because there were like a few people, a few couples going up and down, but the area wasn't like packed for like probably my things were gonna get stolen. So guys, what I did is I first was like, okay, I'm just gonna go inside the building and explain my situation, and then they'll help me out so I can go to the hotel. I left my things there by the corner. I just pushed them to the corner and I climbed the steps. As soon as I go to the building, guys, the building is closed. Everyone is upstairs working, and then on the ground floor it's clear. There's lights. I can see the offices, the chairs. I can see people upstairs, but I don't think they can see me. And there's no bell to ring them, like, for assistance or anything. So you can see upstairs people are moving, but I don't think they can see me. But there was a little call, a little cell phone outside where you could call. I think I took about 20 minutes trying to get a hold of them, but they eventually answered, because you have to wait for that call. You know, when you're calling like customer service, I don't know, those people, and this call ringing, press 1, press this, yeah. So I waited for about 30 minutes. I was around probably almost close to 9 by then, or 8 p.m. I explained my situation to them and they finally gave me my code. Okay, I received my code and I call emergency housing. I tell them, here's my code. Can you please give me the location? They're like, okay, great. This is your location. This is where the hotel is at. And I'm like, thank you. I write it down on my notes on my phone. Tell me why my phone switched off. Like the devil, guys, was fighting in that night. Yo. Now that I'm looking back, I'm just like, yo. But somehow, guys, I was just so determined, guys. I don't know what was pushing me. I didn't have, at that moment, guys, I didn't have, it's like I lost hope for a few seconds, but I quickly clicked, like I quickly found an idea of what to do, you know. Guys, this all sounds like a movie. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Now that I think of it. But okay, my phone switches off for a good 10 minutes. I lose hope again, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm looking at the trees and I'm just like, I'm just gonna put all my things and I'm just gonna lay down there at this point. I'll see by tomorrow, because at this point I'm exhausted. Yo. But finally, because also throughout everything, my mom kept on calling. My entire family kept on calling back in South Africa. So throughout everything, right, leading to this point. So now my phone is switched off. And the location of where I'm going and how I'm gonna call the Uber. So I see a few couples going, and I go back down at the bottom, you know, to get some help, someone to call a taxi for me, and then I'll just ask the Uber for a charger, and then I'll just pay when I arrive, right, when my phone is turned on. So a couple of people are literally running away from me, like, what the hell, what's going on? So 5 minutes later, I finally find a nice couple who actually called a taxi for me, and I'm so thankful. So I quickly put all my luggage in the taxi, all my luggage alone, guys. You can imagine, yo, I was so drained at that point. I was so drained. I asked the taxi, the Uber driver, for the charger. I charged my phone along the way, and I'm like, sorry, I don't know the location. I just need my phone to turn on. And about 5 minutes later, while we're still waiting, I mean, my phone turns on. When my phone turns on, I go to my notes and I tell the Uber driver where I'm going. So we head there, and when I arrive, I pay. It was called Hotel 24 hours. Hotel 27? I can't remember, yeah. But we arrived there, and again, I took out all my luggage. I arrive in reception. I leave my entire things there, around, I think, at the entrance, after like putting it there. And I tell them my name, and they're like, oh yeah, here's your keys, so come downstairs for dinner. They supplied breakfast and dinner only, guys. So yeah, and it was a weekend. So Saturday night I arrive, and they give me a trolley. I put all my things in there, and there's like an elevator. I go there with my things, and I arrive to my room, and I think there's a video. I'll show you guys a video. Probably you'll see my luggage, but I don't think that's all my luggage that's showing there, because some of them I had put them in, I don't know. So yeah, that's where I was for 2 nights, and yeah, I was calling my mom every day, you know, updating her that don't worry, I'll be okay. She was so shocked of my bravery, guys. I don't know where I got it, but I was like, one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not going back there. I'm gonna do everything it takes. I'm not, guys, no ways. Yeah, spending the night in that hotel was so relaxing. I just got a breather. I was just like, yo, what a day. what a week. I was just so refreshed for those 2 nights. And then Monday morning, back to square one. I call an Uber to college, and I asked the hotel to keep my stuff until I find a solution. And they're like, okay, you only have until today, or else your stuff will be put outside, you know, we can't keep it here. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the safeguarding team Monday morning and I explain my situation. Mind you, it was the weekend, so they don't know what happened with where I stayed and whatever. And they're like, okay, there's this other agency called Night Stop. Guys, Night Stop is an agency where the kids from, you know, homeless kids get to sleep for the night in different houses where different families have volunteered to help them out for the night, you know. So yeah, you go there, they find you a random like house, family, and you get to stay there for the night. You get to take a shower, they cook for you, you eat there, you literally live like a family, you know. They provide you a room, and you just come there for the night. That's it. So eventually we do everything and they accept me and they find a place for me to stay for the night on that morning. I go back to the hotel when the time comes, because they said come around, I think 5 p.m. and college ended at 4. So I was just strolling around the college really for an hour until I was called to finally go to the house. So I went straight from where I was to the hotel, booked an Uber, put all my luggage in by myself, guys. That luggage, it was gym. It was serious gym for me. I put all my luggage in the Uber and I go straight to the. Oh no! There was no. I didn't call an Uber. So the agency also provided a person. So the people who are helping them drive the kids and wherever you're going are also volunteers. So a lady came to fetch me, help me with my luggage, and we went to the house. And I think that's like their safety guidelines to protect the families and, you know, to keep their identity and, I don't know, confidentiality and stuff like that. So I finally get to the house. It was a nice, welcoming couple. Thank you. Oh, I almost said their names. They were in like I think the late 50s, early 60s, a nice couple. They welcomed me with such warm hands. We had dinner and I got to speak to them about my entire situation of what happened. And yeah, guys, I was also, I think in that night, I slept so well. The room that they provided for me was so comfortable. And I was just updating my family as well about everything, where I am, and explaining to them what the agency was. Another thing that was stressing me, guys, about the agency is that you only stay for one night in that family and then you jump around house to house. You go to another house, you go to another house, you go to another house for the night. And that's like the stressful part. I was just thinking, tomorrow I'm going to another house again, like, yeah. But little did I know, the next morning they make me some lunch and breakfast, and then I get on my way back to school, to college, I get a call from the agency. They tell me that, so this couple has heard you, has allowed you to stay for as long as you want until you get your money. And mind you, guys, also, I don't know why I skipped a few parts. I was still researching and booking, booking viewings. And I finally found a place. I just had to pay. So that was all I was waiting for, guys. I finally found a place in Manchester, like in the city. So it's a shared house, and it's where I live now. It's a 9-bedroom shared house with other students who go to Manchester Uni. And yeah, they're on their most of them are on their last year, and one of them is on their second last year. Yeah, I'm right. So yeah, that's where I live now. So I was just waiting for the money to arrive, right? And yeah, that's just how I was doing things. I was booking. Guys, I'm getting distracted now. Let me just. Oh, sorry. I'm getting distracted. As I was saying, I had already found a house, and all I needed to do was get my money and pay the deposit. So, still living with a couple, I had to come at a certain time, only at night, only on from evenings to, you know, to just for the night. I can't come like during the day, but luckily during the day I was in college, so that was okay. Fast forward to almost 2 weeks later, I finally received my money, guys. Yo, I was so happy. I was so happy. I finally received the money a week and a half later, and I tell the landlord that I finally have money and I can pay. And I paid everything, and now I am here. Like, long story short, I'm now living here, and I'm officially like okay. Even though there's a lot of struggles now, which I don't know if I should still talk about it. This video is already on 51 minutes. I think I'll do a part 2 on me moving in here and how life has been to today. But I don't know, what else can I add? I can also add that the money that I received from my mom and my uncle was enough to cover the first 3 months of rent of where I stay right now, and which was good because I got to have enough time to find a job, which I did, my first job, and to, you know, start saving for until after 3 months I can start paying for myself, which was like, oh, thank God. Like, I'm so grateful for that because I've kept up to today, you know. But guys, I'm not good with story times. I hope I wasn't all over the place, and I will definitely do a part 2 to this. So thank you guys so much for watching, and do come back for part 2 for me to continue where I am now, found friends, you know, how life is currently. So yeah, hope you have a good day, good evening, good night, wherever you are, and God bless.